Bioshock Infinite came out in March 2013, so you might be wondering, why am I doing a review 6 years after the original release date? Well, before we start, I want to give some context about why I'm reviewing Bioshock Infinite in 2019. This is not the first time I played this game. I played it when it first came out, however, it didn't really click with me. I thought it was fine, but that was about it. Part of the reason I don't think it worked for me was the move from horror to action. Now that it's 6 years later, that doesn't really bother me anymore. I don't remember a lot of the game and the major plot points, and I decided to give the game another go, see how I felt about it. So here's my review of Bioshock Infinite in 2019. Bioshock Infinite starts in very much the same way as the original Bioshock. You end up at a mysterious lighthouse and shortly after get thrown into a completely unique world. In Bioshock you go down to Rapture, an underwater city that's been turned into chaos. In Bioshock Infinite you go up to the prosperous city of Columbia that floats above the clouds using many different platforms. Your goal at the start of the game is simple: bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. However, you soon find things are not quite as simple as they sound. When you arrive in Columbia for the first time and see the floating city, it really is a spectacular sight. With the city being high up in the sky above the clouds, you immediately notice just how bright and vibrant it is, giving a perfect view of all the different platforms which connect together to make one big city. When you first get control while in Columbia, everything is happy and celebratory, with various different events happening, different games for people to play, parades, and even a raffle. Speaking of which, the raffle is where everything goes wrong for our protagonist, Booker DeWitt, as it turns out he is the full shepherd and now everyone in Columbia wants to kill him. The combat feels very fluid and fast while still keeping some of the feeling that Bioshock is known for. Initially it feels strange having the iron sights be on a toggle, but the combat doesn't overly punish hipfire as it's still accurate enough to use 95% of the time. It allows for a good mix of guns and figures, which are essentially magic spells with multiple uses, such as a grenade-like attack and also the ability to place a mine as a trap. The sound design has all of the sounds you associate with Bioshock, all the while taking place in a completely different setting and still feeling unique. There are small things that really set it within the Bioshock universe, such as the sound of the voxophones that are collectible recordings which give extra context to the world, or things like the sounds that a new objective notification makes. The voice acting is really fantastic, with great performances all around, with the performances by Troy Baker and Courtney Draper really bringing these characters to life and really getting you invested in the characters and the story. The story starts off very simple, but by the end of the game ends up fairly complex, while still making sense, and it avoids becoming a convoluted mess, which it very easily could have become. The environmental storytelling in the game is particularly excellent, and gives a great sense of what the world you're in is like, while accentuating different beats of the story. Considering my quite neutral feelings towards Bioshock Infinite when I first played it 6 years ago, I found that I very much enjoyed playing it again, and feel much more fondly towards the game now, even choosing to buy the DLC so I can spend a little bit more time with these characters. The pacing felt a lot better to me this time, and the game really didn't drag at any points, with the story beats keeping the gameplay interesting. The world, characters and story are all very original and are used to create an incredibly interesting game.